Hey everybody, it's Rob. We're just about to get started with this week's episode. Less than 10 minutes left. While you got a couple of minutes here, why don't you go check out otheanthem.com. It's where you can find everything Oh The Anthem, including the merch store, the podcast, and all of the videos. Open up a new tab.
Anchor.fm/Oh The Anthem is the place where you can get direct links to all the podcatchers you use to listen to our show every week.
Did you know we record every episode live on Facebook? Of course you do. But make sure that you're liking the page and turning on notifications so you get notified when we go live.
We make a ton of video content between the podcast, the short films, Heretics. YouTube.com/Oh The Anthem is the place for it all.
And of course you can find me on any social network at Robert N. Cheek.
And me at LegendCB5.
And you can find the podcast at Oh The Anthem on all your social networks.
The opportunity to talk to a couple people, you know, like.
Well, so here's the problem. As GOP superstar Lev Parnas mentioned to us this week, Lindsey Graham apparently had personal knowledge of everything going on in Ukraine.
Yeah.
How many of those senators also had personal knowledge? And if witnesses are called, names of the people sitting in front of them are going to be mentioned. And maybe they don't want to be mentioned. So let's just say you were a part of a conspiracy
Yeah.
to commit murder.
Okay.
And I was part of that conspiracy as well. Who is the number one person you would want on your jury for your murder trial?
You?
Of course you would. Because I'm going to be up there like, well, you know what, guys? I don't think any wrongdoing
I don't think
was
the
even done here.
timeline makes sense.
I don't think any wrongdoing was done. I don't even know why we're having this trial. Let's just cut this thing short. Witnesses? I don't need to hear from any witnesses. I think I've heard enough. Let's just wrap this thing up.
Wonder what about what?
Well, we haven't seen or heard of a girl, and...
Oh, Ma, come on, seriously?
Not that we would think that, but, we want grandchildren.
Girl first. Need girl, then we get kids.
Grandkids. They're already talking about grandkids. Don't even mention that when she gets here.
Of course. But I'll be thinking about it. Oh, is that her?
Who else is it gonna be?
Oh, go and get
I'm
it!
going.
Oh shit.
Well, that's a nice greeting.
Sorry, babe.
So excited to finally meet your family.
I know, me too. Listen, before we go in,
What is it?
well, you know basically everything about me.
Well, at this point, I would hope so.
Yeah. But, my parents, the reason I haven't introduced you to them is because,
What is it?
well, they're different than you and me.
What do you mean?
Well, listen, you're great.
Are you ashamed of me, Tommy? Is that why I've never met them?
No, not ashamed. Never ashamed. Opposite of ashamed. It's just that,
Superman?
yeah.
What about it?
Well, my parents are Baddicks, like, really, really, really intense about Batman.
So?
So they expect me to date and marry a nice Batman girl.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Look, I know they're going to love you. It's just that once they get to know you, then we can ease them into the whole Superman thing.
Alright, Tommy. Alright, I just wish you would have given me some kind of warning.
Trust me, they're going to be so happy to meet you, I promise.
As long as I believe in their hero.
Please don't do this now, Steph.
Do what, Tommy? I'm not doing anything at all.
Then why do I get the feeling that I'm in trouble here?
I don't know. Why don't you ask Batman about it?
Shit.
Are you going to keep her standing on the porch all night, Tommy? Invite her in already.
I was going to, Ma.
Tommy, she's beautiful. A real gift from
Pop,
Gotham,
she's
huh?
right here.
It's lovely to meet you both.
You too, dear. Please, please come in. Dinner's ready.
Great, I'm starving.
Suddenly I'm not so hungry.
Oh, Tommy, you're such a joker.
You actually have some sort of really weird intestinal cancer that only seems to be caused by people who swim in shit. Like swim in a river of shit.
Yeah.
And then like just like the moment just sort of like hits me like flashback style, just like whoosh.
Fish.
I'm like
Smack.
I'm back at Oregon Ridge jumping in a lake going like I love the water.
Never put it in your mouth. Never put it in your mouth. Why
Well,
would
I
you
never
do
thought
that?
about it until just that second when all of a sudden it's just like, yeah, you got about 3 weeks because you have
Advanced bowel cancer?
you have shit creek cancer.
I feel like though that it's not just that
It's the type of cancer we've only seen from kids in Flint.
it. A whole separate issue about.
By the way, it's still not fixed.
Not fixed.
Just by the way, it's still not fixed.
And
And they don't have water coming their way anymore because they're. I mean, there's a small degree of pride that I feel when our men's basketball team is blowing out like
You mean when a
Poland by 70 points or
when
whatever.
a team of professional basketball players beats a bunch of young men from a country who occasionally play basketball? Yeah. It's the Generals versus the Globetrotters,
Right.
over the course of a summer. Yes,
That dream team though, with
the
MJ,
92 dream, yes, the 92 Barcelona.
Oh
dream
man,
team.
that was great.
No, that was literally Globetrotters because they were doing behind the back passes. No look, and the team from Poland's just like, what game are we playing? I don't even know if this is basketball.
Wait a minute, isn't that technically traveling?
NBA
We
rules.
don't call it here. we don't abide by that rule in America.
He literally picked up the ball and ran from midcourt. It's MJ. He's allowed to do that. It's okay.
I think the one thing I noticed, and this is my only take on this, because I don't get into the false patriotism, and I don't get into the desire for America to win fencing or anything like that.
Right. Yeah.
Because, I mean, there's some sports I just don't care about. This week on the Oh the Anthem podcast, we're recording early for secret reasons that we'll get into immediately. We also want to talk about the start of the MLB season with spring training right around the corner and pitchers and catchers reporting next week, as well as a potential postseason change to come. In the news, we talk about the New Hampshire primary, Trump meddling with his own Justice Department on the Roger Stone case, and tells the military to investigate Lieutenant Colonel Vigman. A whole lot of stuff coming up right now on the podcast. You don't want to miss it. Stay tuned. Greetings from probably Vegas. This is Corey, and this is the Anthem podcast.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's Rob. Welcome to episode 306 of the Anthem podcast, coming to you from the hashtag OTA LA studios, high above the 110 freeway in downtown Los Angeles, California. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, so you are in Vegas right now, kind of, maybe, probably?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if it's Tuesday, I might be on the way back from Vegas.
Yes, or dead.
I mean, always a possibility.
With Vegas, you never know. Could be.
Or maybe I just took my winnings and traveled elsewhere.
Oh, yes.
It's just like, I saw some, I think because I've been looking for Vegas hotels, they've been putting new stories in my feed.
Yes, yeah.
Where it's just like, man
you
wins
Google.
$1.7 million jackpot in Vegas. And I'm just like, ooh, that could help.
Yeah.
That could put us into the illustrious the Anthem studios at 1000 Sunset.
For a month or two. And then that's when the illustrious question comes up. You come rushing in the door. You say, "Hey, baby, I love you. Go pack your bags." Oh, my God, what happened? I hit it big in Vegas. You're never going to believe it. Well, all right, we can talk later. What should I pack for? The beach? Should I pack for the mountains? I don't care. I'm going to drop you off at the bus station. You get to decide.
The differences between Rob and I.
Yes. But yeah, so why are we recording early, Corey? What is the situation going on right now?
So basically, you are going to be going to New York tomorrow?
Yes, tomorrow night.
Tomorrow's-
This time. Oh, damn it. I got to check in my flight, too. I'm going to do that at some point. I'll just be checking in my flight. But nobody's going to know because you're going to be on camera. Like you are
okay.
right now. Yeah.
Well, that's fine. If I have to do that. So you'll be in New York. I am going to Vegas on Sunday because the Caps are playing the Golden Knights in Vegas, and I don't want to miss the opportunity. So
Well, this is the first time they've been out west this whole season, so it's good that you're
actually is not. So it turns out that shortly after I bought NHL 20 and was playing it a lot, I thought to myself, oh, I should double check when the Caps come out here, and realized that I missed both the Caps game versus the Kings and the Ducks because I was too busy playing the video game to pay attention to the real schedule. So,
There's just something about that is fantastic that I just love.
and of course, they won both those games. The Caps, who never win West Coast games ever,
Yeah.
won the two games that I could have hypothetically gone to because I was completely free and available for them.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Corey's the only one on camera because I don't want everyone to see me distracted. I got to set an alarm for myself.
So you make sure you check into your
Make
flight.
sure to check in. I don't remember where my alarm is. And by the way, are we savages? Is this really how we need to travel? The 24 hours before, just to get a chance to get an upgrade, I got to just be like pounding the pavement and watching the time. I feel like, what are we doing with society? Honestly, right now? Let's just all, where's the Hyperloop? Elon, where's the damn Hyperloop?
I didn't even think about it in terms of getting a early check-in or something like that. I mean, like I guess like you get into an earlier
Check-in
boarding
group.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like your chances of getting bumped up are better the higher you are. And I would really like to get first class for my
Oh well, I
transcontinental
mean
flight.
that would be great.
And I mean, yeah, so I think it's JetBlue. So I'm pretty sure I have my seat already. And I think I paid for the bigger seat. So already I've paid for the bigger seat, and the chance of me getting bumped up into like,
First class would be higher.
I don't even think they have first class. It's like business supreme or whatever.
Yeah.
But like the chances get much better. And nobody's traveling to New York on Friday night, right?
Especially not from New York or from LA.
Yeah, not on.
It's not a popular to and from.
Not on Valentine's Day weekend for all of those bi-coastal couples who are handling their business.
Yeah.
And if you hear noise in the background, that would be producer Carly sleeping on the job, and except for right now, not sleeping. Now
She's arguing with Monkey Mike.
yeah, it looks like it. Having a little fight off camera. So
So
anyway,
yeah, you'll be coming back Sunday. I'll be leaving Sunday.
yes, ships passing in the night.
And then I'll probably be back Tuesday. I think is the plan.
Yeah. And I think we figured out, like, I think you thought my flight was coming in the morning, and you're like, oh, perfect day. Grab from the airport, we'll go to the XFL game, then just come back,
Do
and
a
then I'll go to
podcast
Vegas.
and then I'll leave for Vegas. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah, my flight comes in at 11 p.m.
All right. So none of that applies.
Yes, yeah. So, because I got, and you know what I realized? I'm like, I was really upset for a moment because it's President's Day weekend,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, we could have stayed an extra day and got another day of vacation, and I was like, oh yeah, I don't have off, so
You don't have bankers holidays.
Nope, I'll be at work on Monday, unlike most of you. Although it would have been perfect because if we were recording on Monday, I could have left early. and taking like a half day.
Yeah,
just
celebrate the
disappear.
presidency.
You know what? You're right. Better that I'm just going to be working a full day and not worrying about a podcast. Because I'd probably say some things I might regret, like the Kobe episode.
Like what?
But yeah,
No,
so,
but the big question I really have, because Vegas is in front of me here.
yes.
I'm feeling really confident about the Orioles this season.
Yes.
Should I be putting 1,000 down, like 2,000 down, 3,000? Like what's the appropriate bet for Orioles to win the World Series?
Well, so I mean, I
Because
don't
I don't want to look foolish. I don't want to.
give you a number because the problem that I got to think about is, did you eat before you walk up there? Do you need to eat more? What about the electricity to get home? Like, make sure you have all of those things.
Yeah.
So I think what you should do is put approximately 95% of whatever you have in the bank
Whatever's
on
left?
the Orioles. Yes. No, not what's left. Just whatever you have in the bank.
Yeah,
At
yeah.
the moment that you're about to place the bet.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And also 100% of credit card balances that are still available.
Well,
all of that.
clearly.
Yeah.
Well, I guess there's no better place to talk about the upcoming Orioles season than in sports ball.
Hey.
You notice how I started talking really slow to try and give you opportunity?
Yeah.
Oh, I see what he's doing.
Ah,
He didn't just go sports ball.
So one of the other problems is we used to have this handy dandy nifty scene changer where it was like press one button. And
Yeah.
I already memorized where the buttons were. They don't work on the latest version of OBS so that we're using here, and so I don't have it. And then I still inherently
Go
will be
to
like,
press the
oh,
button.
sports ball. Oh yeah. Let me get the cursor and get going and move it over. So yeah.
So yes, the pitchers and catchers are reporting this week as
Yes.
you're listening to the podcast. The beginning of spring training. Everyone's has a perfect season so far. There's
Yeah.
not a loss in sight. Gets to see the new crop. Adley Rushman will be reporting with the rest.
Everything seems to be pointing to an excellent Orioles season. Now, not the team themselves. This is what I'm
Everything
talking
except
about.
for the talent on the
Yes,
field.
this is what I'm talking about. We now have a friend who lives in St. Pete.
Yeah.
And as we've talked about on the podcast, we have both been to spring training before, but we've never been together. We've both seen many games at spring training.
I've
and we've
never seen the game at spring training.
I mean, but you went to spring training.
Yeah. I went to the stadium
Yeah?
right before the game was rained out.
Oh. But I mean,
And
you
then-
were there for a while, so I'm sure you saw another.
Well, no, the same game I was going to go to was rained out as well.
So you only had tickets for 2 games?
Yeah.
How long were you in Florida?
For a week.
How about I saw like 9 games in a week.
There was a trip to Orlando that went on that too.
No regrets from that, right? No regrets.
It's all right. I'll see spring training at another time.
So
But-
nonetheless, yeah, we now have a friend who lives in St. Pete, and that's not exactly Sarasota, but it's
Close enough.
commuter distance.
Yeah.
So we could go to spring training, and it's just like I feel like a little bit of a call, but at the same time, I feel like there's a lot of talent in the minor leagues, and they're gonna look really good, and then I'm gonna get my heart broken once the season starts. Once people start getting serious, it's gonna be a bad day.
Well,
I'm not gonna be
I don't know if you've heard about this proposed change to the playoffs, but might get us one or two steps closer to actually making the damn thing.
I did hear about this. They're calling it the guillotine rule. The last place team also makes the playoffs, and they must play every single team. And if they beat all of them, they then get the last spot in the playoffs.
No, I wish that was that true, but no.
Can you imagine? Like a team goes in last place, like the Orioles with 47 wins go in, and then of these 6 or 8,
7.
well, let's just say 8 right now.
Yeah.
No, 8 right now.
No.
Wild card, division.
So
3,
10,
4, 5,
10 total.
10
yeah.
total. Oh, but only 5 on your side. Right. So the Orioles go in with the 47 wins. And then they whip up on 4 of the 5
Yeah.
playoff contenders, and then they're like, all right, so now they're gonna go to New York and play the Yankees. And the Yankees are just like, all right, guys, listen,
We got this.
we cannot get embarrassed the way that everybody else has been embarrassed. This team has won more in the last week than they won in June.
At any point in the season.
So we got to put it together. Let's get it together. But I actually don't mind that. Yeah, maybe
having the last place team just in there for fun.
maybe MLB should just listen to that. Maybe let the last place team play everyone from their conference.
To the best of my knowledge, Rob Manfred doesn't respond to the argument of "Come on, but it'll be fun."
Hey, listen, Rob. We got a little understanding here.
We got a little
know
Rob
each other.
thing.
Robs are smart. We understand each other. I'm just saying, give it a little thought.
You're gonna be in New York this weekend. Maybe you
I will
buy
be
him a steak and pitch him on the idea.
All I'm saying is I'm going to have a steak on Friday night. I'll be at 46th Street.
If you'd like to be there.
If you walk into the same place and you see a guy who looks pretty miserable, like he doesn't want to be there, spending $150 on a steak. I mean, I'll enjoy the $150 steak, but I don't want to spend $150 on a steak. Come over and say hi. And if you don't like my rules,
Just be like, you look like a baseball fan.
I'll be wearing my Baltimore hat and a shirt that doesn't fit very well and that I don't really want to be wearing. And that'll be me. So... yeah, come say hi. You look like a baseball fan. You're miserable wearing an Orioles hat. Yeah, that's me. That's me.
So, new proposed potential playoff changes.
Right, yeah.
Basically, what would happen is the 3 division winners would number 1 seed would get a first round bye. The 3 division winners would pick, or the other 2 division winners and the first wild card would pick in order of how they finished the opponent that they would want to play in a 3-game only at home for the higher ranked team series, and then everyone moves on to the division.
Let me ask you, what if the team wanted to play on the road? What if it's like the Florida Marlins and they're like, ooh, we'd rather just play at a stadium with people
First
in
of
it.
all, Miami Marlins.
Oh, I'm sorry, Miami Marlins. If they just say, hey, we'd really like to play this playoff in a stadium with people in it, can we go to Colorado and play?
You made your bed, you lie in it. No, I mean, like, it's so I think what's compelling about it is, like, there is kind of this reality TV version of, like, it's time to pick the teams, and you have, like, you know, the manager of the Red Sox, like, going, like, yeah, we'll cream the Tigers. Let's take them. And
it's a little bit of draft part 2, and it's a little bit of flashback to middle school when it's like, oh, guys, come on.
I hope I don't get picked last for the team.
This way, yeah. I mean, really, you don't want to get... No, wait. So you don't want to get picked first.
Yeah.
Because you got to play the toughest team first, right? So it's like, I don't want to get picked first. All right, come on.
But, I mean, like, it really does go back to the age of baseball in our youth. Like,
yeah.
Thinking about not getting picked last and this chance getting picked first. So.
Yeah.
There's not enough of that in baseball.
And I would wager that no one on the field on either side of the ball there has ever felt that ever when they were little. Just like Jose Altuve is a short guy. I imagine he's been short his whole life. And he moves to a new school. He gets picked last one time at gym class. And then the very next day, they're like, I'm picking first. No, I'm picking first. Jose, you're on my team. Come on, let's go.
He becomes one of the people that already is part of the game prior to the teams being decided. It's like, well, the 4 of us are playing. Should we pick the rest of the people?
Yeah. Well, and also, it's got to be weird to have Jose on your team because then you got to have the kid from the class below you.
Yeah.
And it takes him like 40 minutes to explain him the trash can thing before the kickball game. So they have to have a whole code working out. It's like it's weird. But
the guy over at the jungle gym with binoculars.
Yeah, you know, it's I wish we knew more kids because I would really like to do
the Jose Altuve as a child.
Maybe not even Jose Altuve. Whoever it was that benefited the most in that, just like as a child, and you see him like yelling at a little kid, and teaching him how to bang a trash can, and I just see over the shoulder of the kickball batter, we zoom in and we just see a little face doing this, no binoculars, just doing this on top of the jungle gym, like
two toilet paper rolls, like.
He's throwing a number 2. I don't know what that is.
Isn't all kickballs the same? Aren't they all fastballs?
Oh, my God. All right. Huh? Now I know why Corey got picked last in gym class. Okay. Well, no, absolutely not.
There's no slider in kickball.
Oh, you put a little English on that bad boy. You can get it to a lot of things.
Yeah, but not actually go into the strike zone. You got to like... Here's
the ironic thing. You bowl like you're pitching. And you're going to tell me that you can't get a curveball?
Yeah, because if I bowl like I'm bowling, then I'm just going to throw it sideways like this with my Cro-Magnon shoulders.
But you can't imagine getting a little English on a kickball that would make it like curve wickedly.
I mean, like I could get how like you might be able to like have it skip weird or something like that.
Oh no, you get like one high skip, one low skip, and when it hits and it's spinning, it looks like it's coming right at you, and then just right across the plate.
All I want to do, I think, I see ads for like these like Zoom balls or whatever once in a while. You know, the ones that like break like 9.5 feet.
Yeah.
Like I kind of just want to like buy one so I can go to the park and throw it and just feel really good about myself. Like
Finally got that curve nailed
look at
down.
this curveball I just threw. When a combined 18 feet.
9 that you were already breaking, 9 for the ball.
It breaks this way and then breaks back the other way. I'm just like, yeah. Just
First
like,
one was an accident.
I was playing wiffle ball in college, I remember. And like I just had the stuff that day. And like all my balls were like breaking weird.
Yeah.
And like people were just like, who is this guy?
Never repeated that
Yeah.
ever again. Yeah, no, we're trying to organize a wiffle ball game at work, and then we went outside with the wiffle ball and the bat.
Yeah.
And I'd forgotten. But one of the guys just like, yeah, go down. And he's like, throws the ball, and it does this like loop-de-loop, and then whips back across. And I was just like, all right, we're not playing wiffle ball. We are not. I don't feel like being embarrassed in front of everyone here when I fall down.
I'm going to be the
swinging at
coach.
that. Coach, all-time coach.
I'm Tom Hanks.
Or pitcher, all-time pitcher.
There we go.
Yeah. You want to pitch? Too bad. I'm pitching. That's what I do.
I was called Sidney Ponzone in that wiffle ball game, probably because I was drunk. It's
That is a deep ball. That's going way back. Oh, all
Sir
right.
Sidney Ponsoon. What was he? Jamaican royalty or something like that? I can't always forget.
Wait, who's Sidney Ponzone?
Yeah.
No, he's Puerto Rican.
No.
No, he's not Puerto Rican?
No.
No, he was Puerto Rican.
Aruba.
Aruba.
He's from Aruba. Yeah. I'm one of the few baseball players from Aruba.
I don't know. Do you know where Aruba is?
In the islands there. Right?
It is. No. It's like, this quarter of the world, the islands. Yeah, it's in there somewhere.
Well, I mean, like, to be fair, I'm not like great with like recognizing specific islands in the Caribbean there.
Here's the fun thing. You said Jamaica. It's actually not too far from Jamaica.
Okay, well there we go.
in the
Now,
same-
if only I could point out Jamaica at the group.
Do you not know where Jamaica is?
No, I mean, like, I know, like, I could do the thing where, like, I could just show you on the map generally where it is, but the
you don't know
Caribbean
which
is not like a strong suit of my like geographical knowledge.
Oh.
If you wanted me to like name countries in Europe, I got that all day.
Oh, the white part of the world. I get it. No, I see where your focus
No,
was. Okay. Listen,
Or Asia or Africa to an extent.
where the slave traders came from, I know really well. Where they picked them up,
Wherever
I
the
kind of know. Where they
Wherever
dropped
the
them off,
colonies
who
traveled,
cares?
I know.
Oh, you want nations' capitals conquered by the Nazis. This is a specific thing that I know very well. Here we go.
Seems like we're getting off sports ball. So I'd like to bring up one last thing.
Okay,
because we
yeah.
didn't bring it up last night with the Mookie Betts trade. And I feel like it's important to.
Last night? Oh, Monday night.
Monday night.
Previous
yeah.
episode, yes.
The last time we had recorded.
Yes.
A couple days ago to us. The Red Sox traded Mookie Betts. And there are some fans who are very upset because it is following an eerily similar pattern that happened before. So let me pull it up here. Red Sox championships. Ready?
Yeah.
1903, 1912, 1915, 1916, 1918. 5 championships.
Wow.
Right
That's
there,
a lot.
right?
Yeah.
And then
Wait, and 4 in the teen years, right?
I think they had some before they were like officially like a team as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
But no, so
prior to the
1903. But then you skip forward and it's like 12, 15, 16.
Yeah, but of the next
18.
century.
Oh, right. Okay.
So what had
Fair
happened was in 1918, the Red Sox owner was tired of paying Babe Ruth so much. So he traded him, and for the cash that he got back, he funded a Broadway play, No No Nanette.
I was saying, didn't he sell him? That's really what it was.
Yeah.
A trade, but he sold him.
Right. Well, I mean, like, it was a trade for money. Anywho, from that point up until 2004, the Red Sox did not win a single World Series championship, even being so prolific early in the century, winning 5 of them in the first 18 years.
And losing spectacularly a couple of times.
And throughout this entire 86-year misery, of which we were around for 20 of it, we just kept thinking about like these poor Red Sox fans and like, you know, like how everything always goes wrong for them. Like you felt sorry for them because they were so hopeless.
Oh, how foolish we were.
And they finally managed to turn it around. They have this amazing series in 2004 where they finally am able to beat the Yankees.
2 strikes away.
Move on to the World Series, and they win it in a sweep in St. Louis. And then they go on to win 4 more championships, finishing with the one in 2018.
Wait, so 04.
Their most recent.
04, 07.
13 and 18. So not exactly the same as the ones
so
before.
They won 4 total.
4 out of the first 18 years.
Yeah, gotcha.
As opposed to 5 in the first.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like, I guess we could start the clock at, like, from 1904 until 1918, they won 4.
Yeah.
From 2004 to 2018, they won 4.
Yep.
But they just basically did an exact repeat of what they did with the 1918 trade of Babe Ruth, where they gave up Mookie Betts because he was getting too expensive, and they were worried they weren't going to be able to re-sign him and trade him for effectively money.
Yeah, what was the play? What's the play that's getting funded by this?
I don't know. I think the Henrys are trying to sell the Red Sox. I've heard that. So maybe they're trying to get like the high-priced items off the books in case like the new owner wants
build
to
value. Yeah.
Because this also the 1918 the owner also sold shortly thereafter, and there were many ownership squads who just didn't know how to do it, and they like opined for the days of the owner who did.
So what you're telling me is, New England is about to lose Tom Brady and the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah. Oh. If they go another 86 years, I will be so happy. I will be so happy. It couldn't happen to better people. And that's all I'm saying. I'm kind of like circling this as just like a thought of like the curse of Mookie.
Yeah. How are the Celtics doing?
They're all right.
Are they okay?
Yeah, they're probably going to make the playoffs, and they look like a contender. But
okay, because in the end, it was like,
to be fair, the Celtics were consistent even throughout Boston's losing elsewhere.
That's what I was going to say. It's like that's the one thing
it's almost like the Celtics and the Bruins are kind of separate from this whole thing. Like the Bruins win when they win. It's kind of how it happens.
I'd really like
Celtics have like good runs.
I'd like to take both of those things away from them. I don't want any happiness in that city.
Bring back the Whalers.
Yeah.
Move them to Hartford.
Just
make
them
suffer.
Take it all away from them.
They'll never lose the Bruins, though. That's the you wouldn't lose the Celtics either. But I'm saying like the NHL has like this thing about the original 6 teams. That, like they never want them to like leave under any circumstance. So even when like Ottawa was like not doing great, they were just like, you got to build them a new fucking arena because we ain't moving this team.
How much money you need? We'll give you the money. But yeah,
what do you guys do? It Franks? That's what you build your arenas with? What's the conversion rate? I can get two American dollars and get you what, 1,000 francs?
See, I was gonna go the other direction with the Frankfurters. I get like 8 for $1. It's fine. Yeah, let's just do this. Let's go.
I know the CEO of Oscar Mayer. I'll call him up right now. Hey, Oscar Mayer. Got a business proposition for you.
But yeah, so let's pray that and maybe Babe Ruth was traded to what team?
The Yankees.
And they went on the most prolific win streak.
Yeah.
Of the 2000s.
I don't want it to happen to the Dodgers, though. They'll become so insufferable.
Yeah, but then we'd be here, and eventually the prices will go down because people won't care anymore.
Yeah, it'll be like the Yankee division round series games where it's like nobody shows up.
And the tickets are cheap, and you can get in the door for like $25, and it'll be great.
It's playoff baseball. This happens every year.
Yeah, we're always in here. What? Yeah.
Why am I going to a divisional round game?
I'm saving my money for the World Series. That's still an expensive game because people just want to be seen there. Who cares about the division round?
Well, that'd be the cool thing. Like if we rise in celebrity, like maybe we can be friends with Matt Damon and Affleck or something like that, and they'll let us come and sit with their seats and stuff.
I want everyone to mark
my
words.
Or Ari Gold or something like that.
I do not care how famous I ever am. If you ever see me out in public with Ben Affleck, call the police because I've been kidnapped and something is very wrong.
You say this now, but I think the two of you would get along.
That's the problem. Like it
would only be trouble.
This would be very much trouble. Like 3 days later, I wake up, I'm surrounded by Mexican hookers, and there's blow on the table, and just I don't know what happened.
Why am I married? Why am I married?
There's a ring on me. They all have rings on. I don't want this kind of responsibility, people. Come on. Yeah.
I ain't trying to marry all 8 of you.
We're just both miserable people who hate life. So I don't really want to be wrapped around that. Either that or it turns into an episode of 13 Reasons Why, and that's not really going to help either. So, but yeah. Anyway, so go enjoy the Golden Knights.
Thank you.
Hopefully the Capitals will return to their losing ways on the West Coast. And
I'm kind of hoping that there's the Ovechkin is on the doorstep of 700 goals.
oh,
So there's a chance that it happens in Vegas.
is
So.
it one game?
Yeah.
Oh, they're coming out to Vegas for one game.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, they're in Phoenix on Saturday.
So you could do both.
I mean, I'd have to figure out how to get the electric charge all the way to Phoenix.
So Phoenix to Vegas is not a problem.
Probably not.
Yeah, I think that there's now some stations along that way. The thing is, if you want to get to Vegas in an electric car, you probably can. The problem is getting anywhere in between the cities that are connected to Vegas. You basically have to drive to Vegas and then drive to Phoenix and then go back to Vegas and come back to LA.
I don't like the fact that I have to put in the loss in front of Vegas. I feel like they should just know.
By the way,
that when I'm writing Vegas, what I mean is Vegas.
I don't know if you've mentioned this. Corey has officially hit $100 spent
yeah.
on electricity in the car.
Yeah.
And you've owned the car for
Months.
4 months now?
Yeah.
So his gas bill.
I mean, it's Phoenix to Vegas is pretty much the same as LA to Vegas.
Yeah. And there's some
So,
stations along the way. They built some stations along the way.
I'm sure there's something I could find.
The elevation change is the problem. You have more elevation change going from Phoenix to Vegas than you do LA to Vegas.
I have to cross the Grand Canyon too.
Yeah.
But maybe I could go just stop there on my way. Maybe they have a charging station.
At the Grand Canyon. Yeah. If you got to stop for an hour or two,
Yeah, you know.
also taking the site.
Go look at a ditch.
See, I say some pretty controversial things, but then like you just go to the heart of what is American. It's like, Kobe, who cares? But people outside LA don't care about Kobe. And you're just like, Grand Canyon, big ditch. Every American is just like, burn him! No!
It's all right. It's how I keep myself original. Having hot takes like that from time to time.
All right, well, that's sports ball. Well, yeah, so we talked about Iowa on Monday.
Yeah.
So it's only fitting that we come up and talk about the next primary. As I said on this week's episode, the only place that's less representative of the American public than Iowa, New Hampshire.
Actually, I can think of one place that's less representative of the American public.
Where's that?
Anchor.fm/Oh the Anthem. Because I don't know if you know this, but there's like 300 million people or something like that who live in America.
Sure, yeah.
Not nearly 300 million people have visited Anchor.fm/Oh the Anthem.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. I was looking at our numbers. By the way, I was looking at our numbers just as a aside.
Yeah.
Anchor seems to have them way down as opposed to FeedBurner, where it still processes through, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, because people don't have to listen.
I wonder if that's Anchor only people or something like that.
No, and I suspect that it is because I said the same thing. I think that more people are listening to podcast episodes than Anchor wants you to go to Anchor, which is great, and they should because it's a fantastic platform. You can get the idea to make your own podcast. You can listen to all the podcasts you can find anywhere, and then you know what? You flip right over and you're listening to Spotify Music.
Yeah.
But I think that they're driving traffic to Anchor, and so you're really just seeing your Anchor listeners.
Or maybe it's Anchor and Spotify people or something like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, that Anchor really is just Spotify. So
Yeah.
But yeah, and listen, if you are looking more for a visual medium, because we of course do the podcast in video every single week, you can find that at youtube.com/Oh the Anthem. YouTube is the place for video on the internet, just like Anchor is the place for audio. Mm-hmm. So go check out youtube.com/Oh the Anthem, and you can get video of every episode.
Yep. So the New Hampshire primary happened on Tuesday.
Now, wait, Super Tuesday's not till March, right? We got a 2 weeks
It's
break.
like March 2nd, I think.
So we have 2 weeks off in between when you guys are listening to this, and then 1 week off, and then bam.
Well, because we have South Carolina coming up,
that's
too.
Tuesday. So
Yeah.
when you're listening to this, it's South Carolina,
And then Nevada after that?
and then Nevada's like a
Or
Thursday.
are they like the same week? Or
They're the
something
same
like that?
week, and
Yeah.
then I think Super Tuesday's a week after that.
So
I'm in front of a computer. I'm sure it has a calendar. Let me see.
results for New Hampshire.
Yes.
Bernie Sanders, the winner, with 25.7% of the vote.
Winner.
Pete Buttigieg with 24.4%, second place. Amy Klobuchar, 19.8% in third. The Klobucharge is happening.
Woo!
Elizabeth Warren, a disappointing fourth at 9.2%.
Wow,
Joe Biden
wow.
at 8.4%. And Steyer following up with 3.8%. In addition, Andrew Yang and who's the other one? Michael Bennett
Yes.
have both dropped out.
DNF.
Yeah.
That's what we say in racing terms. DNF. Started the race, did not finish.
But, I mean, like Andrew Yang, despite not wanting to be president at all, got 2.8% of the vote. So that's not nothing.
How did Michael Bloomberg do?
He is not on the ballot in New Hampshire. He's not on the ballot until Super Tuesday.
Oh,
So he is not in South Carolina. He's not in Nevada. It doesn't start for him until because he got in so late.
Yeah.
He missed the early
To be fair,
states.
I don't think he's anywhere except for New York, and he's just dumping TV ads.
He's
everywhere.
definitely in California. I saw him on my ballot.
No, I mean he's not actually physically in a state.
Oh, yeah,
anywhere
he's
but
just in
New
a
York.
studio somewhere, just projecting ads out too.
Just dumping ads everywhere that he possibly can, and that is all.
And then, of course, so New Hampshire separates its delegates. So with the way that this worked, this is weird. Buttigieg has one. Oh, this is total. This is full delegates.
Total delegates.
Yeah.
9
I was
and
gonna
9 is how they divided up New Hampshire.
Yeah. And as well as Amy getting a few as well. So right now, Pete is one up on Bernie in total with South Carolina coming up, which is Joe Biden's firewall. Let's see how much that really makes a difference in his total.
I don't think he can stay in if he doesn't win South Carolina.
And that's the thing. I think and it can't be second place. Like, it can't be unless you're doing – if you did what Bernie and Buttigieg just did here where it was like 25.7 to 24.8 or something like that, then I can get you saying that, like, I held strong there and stuff like that. But, God, the math is just not working for you up until this point.
No.
And if the argument is I'm the most electable guy and nobody is electing you, then you don't become – a very electable guy.
Yeah, hard to continue to make that argument when you can't finish in the top 3 anywhere.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean anything because it doesn't. Hillary didn't really win anywhere, a lot of places, but she still ended up the nominee, and he's the Hillary of this election, right? He's the party favorite, if you will. So,
see, I don't know. I feel like there's like 4 people who are all vying for that like party favorite kind of place. I think that's part of the problem.
Do you think?
Yeah, because I mean, like, I feel like Biden and Buttigieg and Klobuchar and to an extent like Bloomberg and Steyer are all sort of that center left kind of candidate right now.
In differing degrees, yeah.
I mean, I feel like if Iowa started when all the people were first announced, like when we had debates with 2 nights and stuff like that. I bet Biden basically has Buttigieg's vote total. Like, they probably switch. But because there was time for Buttigieg to build up through these debates and stuff like that, he was able to surpass Biden at a certain point and I think become the vote getter in those early states.
So I found a calendar. Nevada's actually first, February 22nd. That would be Saturday.
Oh,
it's not this Saturday, but next Saturday.
So I'll be able to go there the day after when they're all celebrating their caucus.
No, not this Saturday. Next Saturday.
Okay.
Yes. And then...
So I'll be there early for their celebratory break.
They already knew who's going to win. And then following Saturday is South Carolina. Now, both Nevada and South Carolina have proportional splits of. So that means the first four cities have have proportional splitting of their delegates.
Yeah, if I win 50%, you win 50%, then we basically split the 50-50 the vote total.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's do some quick maths. Iowa has 49. 49 pledged delegates to give. New Hampshire has 33. Nevada has 48. South Carolina, 63. Yeah, that's really high. I didn't realize it was that many. So by my math, that's about 200 delegates up for grabs. Right?
Through those first 4 states?
Through those first 4. Now, keep in mind, 2 states that vote on Super Tuesday are New York and California, which combined have 107 delegates, and they don't do proportional.
Yeah.
So one thing to keep in mind is that the reason we keep stressing Super Tuesday and
I think it's more. I think you're thinking of the,
that's
Electoral College.
Yes, that is all they have in because the super delegates too.
Yeah.
Damn, California has
It is
494.
proportional, though. I thought so.
Is it? No. I just looked
Allocation,
it up.
proportional.
Some delegates. Oh no, some are proportional.
Oh, okay.
Some are proportional.
Is it like some candidate or some counties?
Yes,
break off?
some give theirs to the winner of the county, not necessarily the winner of the overall state election.
Gotcha.
So California will split 494.
Yeah.
That's right, because you get a delegate for every Senate seat and every House seat and.
That's how it works in the Electoral College.
Oh, you're fucking right. Yeah, that's why it's only 54
Yeah.
in the Electoral College. How do they do delegates? They just give them delegates?
I mean, it sounds right. If you got 48 in Nevada,
That it's got to be like 500.
yeah, it's got to be 10 times the amount
Yeah.
in California, you know?
All right, and you know what? New York doesn't. I thought New York bumped theirs up to Super Tuesday too, but they don't. New York is late.
Like back with Maryland on that
That second Super Tuesday.
on that
day,
loser
right?
Super Tuesday.
Yeah, April 28th. So Alabama, American Samoa, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Democrats abroad, which is the
Yeah. Anyone who's
expats.
not currently in America.
Maine, Massachusetts, Minnesota, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas. Oh, Texas, by the way, is going to be another. I bet you this is 450. 262? See, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
Because they have equal electoral college proportionally to California. So why do they only have 262?
No, they have less.
They have 48. Texas has 48 electoral votes. California has 54.
55.
55. Which is going to change, by the way, a lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's going to be some states who lose some.
Yeah, a lot of Hispanics in Texas, and if we count them.
I don't know. Like, to me, this whole process is weird. It's just the type of thing I catch up on every single time we come around to it.
Yeah, I know, and I feel like they change it every single time, too,
Yeah.
right? Like, oh, here we go. Presidential delegate vote tracker. Where are we? So Pete's got 22. Bernie has 21. Elizabeth has 8. And, oh, see, this is nice and convenient. 494 up for grabs.
Are they like super delegates maybe?
79 are super delegates. So, okay, so 79 super delegates are statewide. 415 are proportional.
Okay.
Whereas Iowa does a completely
Proportional. Yeah.
based on, and so does New Hampshire, so does South Carolina. Texas, man, for some reason, it's got to have more than that. So Florida has 248 delegates.
Yeah.
Texas has 261. Does that make sense? Given the breakdown of those two states?
Oh, man. Making me do.
I feel like we're figuring this out on the fly. Illinois has 184, but I know that they have like 38 electoral votes.
Let's see. Texas has 28.7 million people in it. I bet you Florida's right in that area.
You think?
Yeah. 21.3.
So a few. Oh, no, wait. What was Texas?
28.
So it's about a third smaller.
Yeah, it's about 75% of the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that does make sense. So basically, though, Super Tuesday is where we hit 50% of the delegates. Wait, what? How does this make sense? 50% of delegates?
Well,
I can't
California
understand
knocks
this
out a
graph.
whole bunch of them.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say California has a lot.
Having California be early for a change is refreshing because I feel like this whole race will be settled on Super Tuesday now. Like, because at that point, say Bernie wins California and like romps California like he's sort of expected to do, then how do you catch up with him at that point?
Yeah.
He could be 100 votes ahead just after Super Tuesday.
Oh, okay. I understand this graph now. You need 1991 to lock in a nomination.
Right.
The line here is 50% of the delegates that are available to be taken right now.
Okay.
So right now, 51 delegates is half. And we have 22-21 being the biggest of the split. So that's 43.
Yeah.
And the remainder goes to everybody else. Joe Biden bringing it up with 6 at the back. So right when we go into Super Tuesday, there are 104 is 50%, so that's 208 available. At the end of Super Tuesday, half is 766. That means that the full amount is 1,400, 1,500, and 2032.
Yeah.
That is a big day.
Yeah.
And then, like a little bit later, you have April 28th in Maryland and New York, and it's already basically over.
I never felt like my vote mattered in Maryland at
Yeah.
all because it was so late in the process. It just doesn't have the same sort of like heft as
But again,
Nevada.
even if they Bernie and Pete continue to split the votes going into Super Tuesday, and they each have approximately 50,
Yeah.
then coming out of Super Tuesday, Warren is not out of it. Biden is not out of it, although I think he's probably out of the race by that point. No one's out of it because going from 104 to 766 being 50%, you can make up a
Yeah.
lot of ground.
Yeah. People have to really figure out their shit in the
Yeah.
next 2 weeks, basically. That's how it works.
And by the way, some people are voting in California right now. We have the early polling
voting.
centers.
Yeah, you can do, and you can mail in your vote at any time now.
Yeah. So
I don't understand though. Like, why would you? Unless you're voting for like Bernie or Pete, maybe.
mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. I just always wanted to like hold off on that until the last possible minute, just because what if something happens?
All right. I mean, you were talking about how you wanted to vote for Ted Cruz the entire time last time around, but you wanted to make sure he was still in the race by the time you got there.
I don't want to throw it away. I don't want to throw away my Ted Cruz vote.
Yeah. But here's the messed up thing about the math is Tuesday means a lot or it could mean absolutely nothing. They could divide up those 1,400 available votes amongst 3 or 4 people, and it means nothing. We're headed on down to the south. We do a swing through the southwest after that. So who knows? But by the way, somebody, friend of the show, Roberto, brought this up. He's apparently a Pete Day one.
Wonder where you got that from.
Part of me wants Pete to win.
Mm-hmm.
Solely so I can refer back to, what is this, episode 306?
Yeah.
Back to what's got to be episode 180, maybe a little later than that. 200?
Are you talking about like at the end of the Obama presidency?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I said, listen, don't sleep on him. There's this guy, he's a mayor in Indiana, and I think he's got legs.
I said mayor.
Yes. There's no way he could run. Maybe he needs to run for governor for Mike Pence's spot.
Gonna have to get past De Blasio and Garcetti first.
Oh, I think that is probably the conversation we had.
Probably.
Yeah. And what about Biden? What about Bernie? Hillary might run again.
Well, we probably also talked about how Garcetti isn't even a good candidate for governor.
Yeah.
Because like the Southern California does not do well in statewide elections in California.
I think that is exactly what we talked about.
Yeah, and probably said like really if you're Garcetti, you might as well jump the line and just go for president.
Yep.
And then we probably had the same sort of thing about Pete, where we were just like, well, I mean, there's no chance he wins governorship, so maybe.
But if you can't win governor of
just go for
Indiana,
it.
can you win?
Raise your profile and then go back and run for governor.
Okay, maybe that then. Yeah.
Yeah.
And to be fair, he's winning the conservative votes, not conservative. He's winning the Democratic conservative votes, the centrist votes.
The Clinton types.
Without Pete, I think Biden might be leading Bernie at this point. Because I think there's a measure of Pete is, in a way, a younger, better put together Biden.
Well, that's one of the things I find so interesting about Iowa. I mean, the voting of it is not that interesting because it's a lot of like super white people. But I mean, like, as far as like an exercise, it's kind of interesting because you get a lot of second choices.
Yeah.
Because if you go to, the gym and you have a 15% viability threshold and you're there to support Biden and you don't get viability, then they say, go find another group. Mm-hmm. So who your second choice is, or third choice in some cases, is very important. So it's kind of interesting to always see, like, usually around this time is where the negative campaigning really starts.
Yeah.
Because it's not so much about being, like, polite enough to be somebody's second choice. So, like, as soon as you pass Nevada, it's pretty much over with the caucuses.
Yeah,
so.
those caucus states wrap up and things start to get a little negative.
Get a little heated.
Yeah. What was I going to say? But, of course, we're going to continue to follow. I do imagine that all the Democrats that I know here are not keen on Pete. No, they're not Team Pete. And I think that he's got... Here's the problem, guys. We got to be realistic about this thing. I don't know that Bernie can beat Trump because he can't win the middle of the country.
I feel like Bernie can beat Trump. Here's the thing. My thought process right now is like, I will literally vote for anybody. I will vote for Dead Strom Thurmond for president over Trump right now.
Ooh,
like,
well,
he could do less damage. Like,
oh, because he's dead.
yeah,
Yeah, I
because
guess.
he's dead.
Yeah.
I would vote for a dead person over the current sitting alive president. My threshold is not that high, and to be honest, all the Democrats. I'm just assuming that Biden just drops out at some point here.
Yeah.
And keeps me from having to preface this with a Biden thing, but like pretty much any of these Democrats right now, I'd vote for. I'm okay with any of them. I worry that when you get into the general, Pete being a small town mayor is not going to be as endearing as it is in the Democratic primary, you know? Where a lot of people will sort of say like, yeah, Trump's a horrible person and racist and I don't like what he does or says, but you know, my 401 is doing good and you know, Pete's just been a mayor. I don't know if he's quite ready to be president of the free world, you know, like flashing back to Trump not knowing what the fuck he's doing ever. And Pete probably has a really good team of people who come in with him.
I think
day one.
The middle of the country and parts of the South are full of people just like Mitt Romney who are saying to themselves kind of what you're saying right now.
Yeah.
Give me someone who isn't a bleeding heart liberal who's going to bring in socialism and bring in all of those terrible things, and I will vote for them. If you can give me someone who looks conservative enough,
Yeah.
that maybe 50 years ago, I mean, let's be honest, like Hillary, Biden, Pete might have been Republicans 50 or 100 years ago. So, I mean, not 100 because 100, you know, things were reversed. But, you know, 50, 60 years ago, they would have been like on the fringe of the Republican Party, not kind of in the center of the Democratic Party.
They would have been moderate Republicans.
Yeah. And that party just kept moving to the right. So I think there's a lot of people out there who are saying, like, we need to get back to that. And the American politics is reactionary. If we put in a president who is a Democratic moderate, the Republican Party has to react by putting out a moderate next time because you have to be more normal. The Bob Dole versus Bill Clinton.
Bob Dole.
Bob Dole versus Bill Clinton was really like,
Where's my pen? Bob Dole.
yeah. He's a war hero. Man is a war hero. He doesn't have the use of his hands.
I'm just throwing out a
reference
to Bob Dole. People always brought up the pen. So he couldn't he was a war hero and he couldn't what was it? Couldn't open his hand all the way?
No, so he once it was like shut, he couldn't open it or close it. So he would like assist the closing of it and then just hold it so it looked like he was intentionally
so he was
holding
like making a point with the pen, being like, "I'm Bob Dole." And
Was he Vietnam or Korea?
Had to be Korea.
Yeah, right. He was tortured though. That's why it was like John McCain. He was tortured and lost his hand. So,
but unlike John McCain, he left when he was told.
When they were like, "You can go home," he's like, "All right, boys, let's go on home."
See ya.
But so the reason that the Republicans responded with Bob Dole was because Bush was not he wasn't a moderate. He was a Reagan Republican.
He was very conservative at the time.
It's hard to think that now because of what we have, but he was considered kind of on the outside. And Bob Dole was like, you know what? I can be the middle way. I can be the moderate.
Yeah.
And they were like, Clinton is the moderate Democrat. We got to put a moderate Republican up against him. And this is the guy we're going to choose for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And then once he was out, then we went a little fringy with Bush and Gore, who were both on the fringes of their party. But that's how we reply to each other.
Well, you also got to think that the after Dole lost and before Bush was like president, the Republican was starting to do this thing like, all right, so we're at the end, going to be at a distinct disadvantage if we don't take care of the Latino population, which is exploding in this country. So we need to start thinking about people who will be beneficial to Latino voters.
Yep.
And Bush basically worked his way into that nuzzle by being Texas governor and being
friendly
to Latinos.
Yeah, being friendly to Latinos. By the way, the guy who you saw 8 years into being president was not the guy who was governor of Texas.
No.
And the guy now is more like that governor who is like never say sanctuary city. Or
you got to
like
think that if 9/11 never happened, Bush was probably just like doing the same thing he was as governor, which is just like this like happy-go-lucky, I'm just going to give tax cuts kind of guy.
Yeah. I mean,
You know,
he's
like-
going to be economically still favoring the rich, but like you're never going to see camps with children under an overpass.
Right. Yeah.
So there's that. Bombing of brown children elsewhere in the world probably doesn't happen.
Oh, I'm sure it does. They'll figure it out.
Oh, I mean, not with the frequency.
I mean,
suppose.
Bolton was still there. There's no,
Oh, that's true.
no way
That's
to
true.
avoid that part.
That's true.
When
But like I said, though they are going to be looking.
the sun went up, we got to bomb somebody.
They're going to be looking. Voters are going to be looking for Romney, the
Yeah.
centrist, and the Republican Party is not offering that. The Democratic Party, ironically, is offering kind of a conservative-leaning guy, and I think that was what we're seeing in New Hampshire. That's what we're seeing in Iowa. South Carolina is going to be the test.
Yeah.
Is he replacing Biden as that conservative centrist candidate? And if he is, he may have the best chance. And I said it 2 years ago, people.
Well, so
I said it.
So Biden's point at this, his argument at this point is 99.9% of African American voters have not voted yet in this primary.
That's also true.
And
Not representative.
right now, Buttigieg is at 0% support in the black community, and Klobuchar is also at 0%. They literally had it listed as 0% on a recent poll. You know, Bernie has a kind of like uneven grasp on black voters, and Biden, that seems to always be a strength. But
Yeah, he's got that Clinton thing going
as
on.
you need to remember as you go forward in this process, remember that Joe Biden has run for president 3 times and has yet to win a single state
Yes.
at any point along the way. So,
But here's the other thing. What is Trump support in the black community, and what was it in 2016?
but that's almost different because the Republican Party wasn't the black Republican vote is not a huge part of the coalition.
True. But I don't know that.
There's like a certain percentage of the black population that'll vote Republican.
Yeah.
Like it won't break free, and that's like the kind of like consistent one that they stand by, you know, like
In the
usually
end, though,
evangelical voters.
I don't think Hillary was getting high percentages of black vote. And in the margin, what decided the election in 2016? White women over the age of 30 decided the election. And I can tell you that is only getting worse. That is
But I will.
only going to be more.
I would also argue that what decided the election was the fact that people were
I fucking hated
not
Hillary
wanting
Clinton.
to go to vote because
Yeah.
it was Trump versus Hillary.
Yeah.
And if a normal number of Democrats go to show up to vote in Michigan and Wisconsin and Ohio, then this could be a completely different story. You
Yeah.
know?
And, you know, if all of you show up to the Instagram account for Oh the Anthem, this could be a completely different story as well. Let's get us over 1,000 Instagram followers.
Yeah, listen, we got to be the ringer here.
Yes.
We got to sell to Spotify, make ourselves some money.
By the way, that number keeps going up. Every time I see a news story, the number's going up. And
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
feel like Bill's following the stories. And he's like, yeah, so they're saying 3 million now, so 4 million's the number.
Just feel like Deadline. I'm just gonna like ring ourselves for $5 trillion. I'm like, what?
Ooh, that's a retirement.
That's a number.
But not only on Instagram, because of course you can find Oh the Anthem on all your social media. You can find it on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at Oh the Anthem everywhere there. And of course we go live on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook. Not available on Instagram, but maybe we should look into that. But you can find us everywhere live and everywhere on social media in between episodes. We try to post little short clips and funny things that happen in our lives. So you don't want to miss out on any of that at Oh the Anthem all across the interwebs.
And don't sleep on ohtheanthem.com. It's nice. It looks nice now.
Yes, it's a plethora of episodes, very nicely cataloged, as well as merchandise that will make all your friends say, "Hey,
Where'd you get that shirt?
and what does that even mean?" But you know, I said that the American people are looking for a Mitt Romney. I am looking for a Mitt Romney too, and I
Yeah.
hate that I am proud.
Pierre
of Mitt Romney.
Delecto.
Yeah, I hate that I'm proud of Pierre Delecto. But for the first time in history, and I mean, there's only been 4 incidences thus far.
Yeah.
But for the first time in history, someone from the president's party voted for conviction against the sitting president.
Yeah.
And of course, that one vote was Mitt Romney. We kind
On
of
only
knew
one of the charges, though.
Only one, and that's fine though. One charge is all it takes, man. We could
Yeah.
charge him with 9.
Yeah,
if we
yeah,
get him
yeah.
with 1, he's out. Susan Collins came out the week before and said that
She wanted witnesses.
Yeah, I voted for witnesses,
and
but-
then voted against the removal.
but without the witnesses, I don't think we've reached the high bar necessary to remove the president.
Yeah.
Which seems on the surface to be a logical argument.
I mean, like, you know, the thing that's amazing to me is that I understand how these sitting Republican senators are worried that if they vote against Trump, that they're going to have their Republican cards taken away. And
Yeah.
they're going to be primaried by somebody named like Jasper or something like that. He's just like, wasn't this country so much better when it was only Native Americans and settlers?
Well, I mean, or they'll get primaried by somebody named Andy, who looks like a logger,
Who was a doctor at one point.
apparently.
Uh,
Oh, Wayne, come back for us, please.
Please, Wayne.
Please, Wayne.
uh,
That dude, Wayne Gilchrist is like 90 years old. He's like, who are these guys who are still asking me to run?
I would
Christ.
I would love it if he's just listening to the podcast. He's just like, there's still a demand.
Somebody send Wayne Gilchrist a clip
he,
of
wa-
this.
he gets out of his chair, takes off his leisure suit, and puts on his business suit,
He's like,
ready
it's
to
time.
take on the day.
It's time.
It's not too late to get in this primary, is it?
Honestly,
Little-
everybody, if he went out and said, everybody write me in, I think people would just write him in. Like, all right, what spellings are we going to accept of Gilchrist? Because I don't know if everybody here can spell that. But Wayne, run. Just put run, Wayne, run on the line.
Is this a 90s reunion? Because I feel like a fountain of Wayne.
Ooh, another deep pull that half the people won't understand. By the way, also, I'm realizing that if they don't get the Fountains of Wayne reference, they probably don't even know who Wayne Gilchrist is.
Probably not. So it works out for both of them.
There was once a God amongst men.
Both those people.
There was once a man serving in Congress who really had the people's interest at heart. And then the Tea Party came.
I can't wait until the day where we read the biography of Wayne Gilchrist and figure out he was just as awful as everybody.
I mean, really, we probably should. But no, but listen, my dad is very familiar with him. He's been at my house before. Whether or not I was also a Republican at the time when I was like hanging out with him, so maybe I was like fully supportive because he.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no way he's worse than Andy. That's
No,
the
well,
thing.
now I mean,
It's-
like, you know,
and there's no Democrat that's going to win that district, except for maybe me. But no, definitely not me. Not me. Too liberal. But
I mean, Andy's basically the real life version of Hitler from Jojo Rabbit.
I mean, yeah, kind of.
Just like a cartoon character version of it.
If he and I are about as opposite as we could get. We're literally just on the opposite side of the spectrum for each other.
Yeah.
I vocally say guillotines, but he's thinking guillotines all the time.
But just for the poor, the ones that bother him at his office. And
Right. I'm just
ask
thinking
for things.
I'm thinking guillotines for the rich. See, we're just like, oh, you know what? In the forest, there's always a diode.
Anywho, the funniest thing about this whole Mitt Romney thing is that he was uninvited to CPAC because he voted against the president. It's not like it was like 30 years ago. One of our most recent Republican nominees for president is not invited to the Conservative Political Action Committee
Yes.
banquet or whatever
Yeah.
event where all the most important Republicans gather because he voted against the president in a show of strength.
By the way, 2012 candidate for president who then did what you're supposed to do and just disappeared for a while.
Yeah.
And then came back and resoundingly won his home state, which
Yeah.
is not his home state, but his home state Senate seat against someone who is immensely popular in the state. And then you get disinvited because of a vote in the Senate. Like,
Right.
I don't know where our country's going. Don't make me defend Mitt Romney. What are we? Come on.
What I
hate it.
will say is that I like that Mitt Romney has basically taken the place of McCain in
Yeah.
this whole thing. Because I imagine if McCain was alive, we've talked to McCain many times before. We have disagreements on the man. But we both agree that from time to time, despite your political ideology being different from his, he would
Yeah.
do things that were best for the country as opposed to party.
No, I prefer my politicians to do that more of the time, most of the time.
I know, but I'm saying,
I
like,
will take it. Unlike Mitch McConnell, who doesn't give a shit what's good for the country.
as
and the
opposed to
people.
McConnell, who will vote 100% of the time for the interest of the party.
Yeah.
It was nice that
Or
5% of the time McCain would just be like, fuck you guys.
First of all, don't discount. He will cast a vote against the party, but for lettuce. And that's really only because of his turtle tendencies. So, anyway.
Oh, poor McConnell.
He's like, wait, I'm not usually down for giving subsidies to anything, but this lettuce subsidy sounds delicious. Anyway, so I don't know that he's taking McCain's place. I don't ever want to say that anyone would take McCain's place, but he certainly in this particular vote made a strong statement and said, I'm going to go against the party.
Yeah.
It cost him something. That's good or it's bad, wherever.
I think it helps him in Utah.
I think
it's
it does
one of
too.
those like rare places where being against Trump is actually beneficial because the Utah people will like kind of grit and bear and vote for Trump because they're Republicans and they don't. I don't think they allow the Democrats' names to be on the ballots there. But
Well, as you remember, Evan, what was his name? 2016, there was a guy who got like 11% of the vote in Utah.
Oh yeah, that's
and
right.
Arizona.
Yeah.
Evan something.
For being not Trump.
Yeah, basically,
Yeah.
he was just like, I want someone's name to be on the ballot in my home state so that people don't have to vote for Trump. And he got 11% of the vote in a bunch of states like Utah and Arizona and Colorado. So look him up. Evan Steenburgen is married. I don't remember.
The actress.
Sandberg? No, wouldn't be Sandberg. Something like that. Look him up.
Yeah, there was some guy who ran
it
the
was good.
Utah primary.
But yeah, it's we're really getting down to it here, folks. I feel like it's end times, and I'm also agreeing with Mitt Romney in that because he always talks about how it's the end times. But when I start agreeing with Mitt Romney, we have reached a point in our republic where
To me, it's just amazing that nobody wants to hedge.
Yep.
I mean, like, that's really the point. Like, you could have asked for witnesses just to hear them because Bolton's not going to not sell this book now because they decided they didn't want him to come testify.
Yeah, no.
And all the information that he would probably say on the stand is going to be in the book. So if the book gets released a month from now and we find out that, like, Trump was, like, selling girls into white slavery or something like that, then we're going to feel pretty dumb that we didn't ask for more witnesses.
Yep.
Like, there's going to be people who show up to Susan Collins' door and go like, what the hell? She's like, well, how was I supposed to know there was going to be bad things in there?
I'm just a little girl. I can't cast a vote.
There's a mouse. Everyone get away from the mouse.
You should all be watching my cartoon or our cartoon president.
Yeah.
It's really, really good.
It was really nice in the election year stuff, too, because
Yeah.
they're focusing on some Democrats as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just a couple more quick Trump things before we get out of here.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Because
Lightning round it.
when the whole Mueller investigation ended is when Trump basically went hard into the Ukraine.
Yeah.
And then we had a Ukraine investigation. And then literally the day after it ends, Trump is telling Barr to tell the Justice Department lawyers to go a little bit easier on Roger Stone. And a bunch of lawyers in the office quit because of it.
I think 2 walked out of court.
Yeah.
They went in, they told the judge, we can no longer represent the federal government in this case, and left.
Yeah. And in addition to that, he's apparently put in a tweet to tell the military to investigate Lieutenant Colonel Vigman, who testified against him in the House version of the impeachment trial here. To which I must say, this is... I don't know where you found this man so honorable. It's unbelievable. Like,
here's the good news. Even if he wins in November, he's just going to keep giving us chances to impeach him. Like, the investigations will continue. They'll keep throwing charges up to the Senate. And eventually someone with a conscience, like I'd like to think Susan Collins has, is going to be like, listen, witnesses are not... Enough's fucking enough. Come on. Like, how much do we have to have?
I mean, I'll tell you this: if the Democrats were able to get their shit together enough to overturn the Senate,
Yeah.
then I think there would be a much different conversation being had about keeping Trump in check. I think if they overturn the Senate and Collins still managed to have a job at the end of it,
Yeah.
like she didn't lose one of those seats in the process, then she'll be a much different person when she comes back to Washington that January.
Yeah,
too.
it'll be strange. She's going to be going across the aisle, building coalitions with people.
I think
it'll be
it's
fun.
amazing the things that this president has done. All these new things the president has done since he was elected just a couple days ago. I mean,
It's amazing.
that whole first term was a dream, but the second one has been plagued with so much atrocity.
Someone needs to hold him accountable.
It's funny. I think the person running against McConnell in Kentucky,
Yeah.
like the lead Democrat who looks like she's going to win Kentucky, has like this national game going on to try and raise money because
Yep.
I see her ads from time to time. And you
she's-
usually don't see ads for people outside of the state if they're running for like.
She is doing the AOC thing, but for the Senate, where she's raising money for anyone who's in a vulnerable seat. And because she's running against Mitch McConnell, she's getting the most like press. But
Yeah.
so her face is being used to be like, hey,
It's like
Susan-
McGrath or something like that.
Yeah, McGrath.
Amy McGrath.
Amy McGrath. Yeah, but like Susan Collins decided to vote to acquit. Luckily, so-and-so up in Alaska, right, Alaska? Yeah, Alaska?
No, Collins is Maine.
Maine. Up in Maine, would have voted to convict. Why don't we throw some shekels her way? Let's get all of these people who have never been in government before into government.
Yeah, Maine
so-
is such a fucking weird ass state too. They have an independent governor.
Yep.
They have an independent senator.
And the independent governor is slightly racist, too.
The independent governor is more Republican than Trump is.
Yeah.
And like Angus is probably one of the most even-handed senators we have.
Yeah. And then you got Collins.
Yeah, and then Collins, who is like looks to be even, but then goes wildly right from any time like it's important.
It's and the Senate's weird. I don't think we've heard enough about the Senate thus far, but obviously the presidential campaign has taken up most of it, and for the most part, there are very few contested Senate seats. Like by this time, you know who the front runner is in your primary going into the Senate. But we'll hear more about it in the summer. There is a seat, one of the Georgia seats is now being called like the one to turn the Senate.
Yeah.
Because they think they have the votes. Like McConnell's probably out.
Well, there's weird ones too that if you heard on election day that Arizona switched
Yep.
or Colorado
Wouldn't be
or
surprised.
New Mexico or there's one in Nevada too, right?
I think
one
so.
Republican senator in Nevada.
Yes.
I think that one's good
It's a
for
bunch
the
of
changing.
like Midwestern.
It's like the Sun Belt
Yeah.
states that are like really like heavy in the change, which is why like people thought Beto had a good chance against Ted Cruz. Like not to like beat him, but to
Yep.
put on a good showing because
By the way, Beto, there's another goddamn senator up for re-election this year.
yeah,
Come
why don't
on.
you run against Cornyn? Like he's just as bad as Cruz, just not like, visibly so.
And not so disturbingly
Yeah.
visually so.
Yeah. At least Cornyn can kiss his daughter without her running away.
Yeah. But so there's a seat in Georgia, and they're basically saying, like, if we can turn this seat, it means something because it's never – so it hasn't been Democrat since Democrats were Republicans, essentially. And when Strom Thurmond said, hey, we're going to start a Dixiecrat party, it went Dixiecrat. And then when he went to the Republicans, it went Republican. And it's very strongly always been held by a very
It
strong
hasn't been
conservative.
Democrat, I think, since Lyndon.
Lyndon Johnson?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, that would have been 48.
Because he was from Texas, right?
Texas, yes. Oh no, I was talking about the Georgia seat. The Georgia
Oh,
seat that is
yeah.
kind of being called like the
Oh, yeah.
the runaway seat. The election will
Right,
be
right,
running
right.
away if this seat goes blue, because
Well,
there
there's
hasn't
more.
been-
There's more talk of Georgia going blue too, because
Yeah?
I mean, like the amount of stuff I was listening to Stacey Abrams on Larry Wilmore's podcast recently, and the number of things she was going into about like how Kemp basically tried to torpedo the vote
Yeah.
in Georgia is incredible, and makes you wonder how things could have been differently if none of this foul play was involved. But if you want to go to a place where there is absolutely 100% no foul play
Like,
involved.
don't promise that. I can't.
All right. There's a little asterisk, like we did not consult with our lawyers before saying this.
Mm-hmm.
OTheAnthem.com. Core to OTheAnthem.com. The Anthem on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and the listener line, 443-219-7595.
What's that number again?
443-219-7595. I have the Birds of Prey review like already and uploaded and will be released tomorrow. If you are listening to this on the day that it's released, and why wouldn't you, then I just released the Ford vs. Ferrari review. So check both those out. and let me know what you think, and if you want me to see any movies in particular, because got to do more reviews. So
Yeah.
give me your suggestions.
And I mean, of course, that you'll be in Vegas, and what better time to go see a movie when you're in Vegas? Nothing else to do in that town.
4 a.m. Might as well go to a movie.
That's the one weird thing about Vegas. The movie times don't vary.
Yeah.
You're still going to have like a 7:30, a 9, a 10:30. Maybe you get the midnight.
I'd be
but
so happy if there was like home of the only 24-hour AMC in the country or something like that.
that makes it worth a trip to go there. Yeah, just a 24-hour AMC theater. Well, anyway, you can, of course, find me at all your social networks at Robert N. Cheek. Excuse me. Oh, heartburn's kicking in.
Don't die.
Oh, there's barbecue chips. I got barbecue stuff on my hand. Robert N. Cheek at all your social networks. Make sure you check out robertncheek.com where you can find all the things having to do with me, including the blog and the links to the books on Amazon.
Buy Rob's books.
Thank you. Oh, man. And, of course, you can go on over to YouTube, youtube.com/Rob Cheek, where you can find a bunch of videos, including the Everyman movie reviews. I, too, will have a Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey, the Fantabulous Emancipation of Harley Quinn review up tomorrow.
I've been wondering whether or not I should write that entire thing on the YouTube title.
Yeah, I don't think
just
it'll
Birds
fit
of Prey.
on mine. So no, I'm not gonna put the whole thing. I don't think anybody's gonna be searching for that. But also, Ford vs. Ferrari will be up on Sunday. So if you'd like a less pretentious version of Corey Baker filmmaker reviews, come on over to Everyman and we'll have it. I also have scripted out now 2 Rob Explains Everything episodes. And if I can ever get home before 10 p.m., I'm going to shoot one of them. It just hasn't seemed to work out thus far. So, unfortunately, those are going to have to wait. And as Corey pointed out, I'm going to New York this weekend. So the likelihood of me getting any work done on Valentine's Day weekend with Roxanne in New York is probably nearly 0.
So wait, they will.
Statistically 0. But starting later this month, I will have a lot of free time where I'll be hermiting myself away and just writing and shooting and got a lot of exciting stuff.
Writing, I hope, is most of what I spend my time in Vegas doing.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I have the hockey game that's sort of planned, but other than that, it's write and then eat whenever I'm not writing.
Oh, and I hope it's not a spoiler. You can cut this out for the actual episode if you want, if you don't want people to know. But we will be attending NAB in Las Vegas in April. So if you are also going to be at NAB, please give us a shout out and let us know. We are going to treat it as a writing retreat.
Yeah.
And also go see some cool stuff and maybe pick up some new equipment. But for the most part, we'll be there to enjoy the city, enjoy the sights, to write. And we would love to see people. It's just like, I feel like it's one of the things where people who might listen would also go there for work or for something else.
Yeah.
Let us know you're going to be there. Let's get together and say hi to one another.
Come visit us in our palatial suite wherever we end up.
Yeah, I mean, we'll find something wrong with the room. Corey will complain. We'll post about it all over social media, and then we'll get an upgrade. That's how we do. That's the
Caesar
Anthem
Suites.
way. So, it's April 14th through 19th?
Something like that. Yeah, I think it's later than that, but I think it's after my birthday, right?
Oh, you're right. It's a week after your birthday. So whenever the NAB is, that's when
Yeah.
we'll be there.
Look it up. You have Google.
Yeah, it'll be the day before it starts through most of the week. I don't know if we're going to stay all the way through the end, but most of the week anyway.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we've done good here today.
We've done something. I don't know if it's good. But as always, you're listening to the Oh, the Anthem podcast, part of the Oh, the Anthem digital network. For Corey, this is Rob. Have a great week, everybody.
Viva Las Vegas. And you're going to give me like a duel in New York, or something like that?
See, that's the kind of stuff
In
you
New
have to...
York.
Actually, you know what? Here, let me just...
Concrete jungle where dreams are
do both
made of. In Vegas.
What kind of mashup was that?